In this lecture, we will start using relations to help us define our sketches. In this part, we will address relations that involve a line, two lines, a point and a line, and 2 points. Relations are ways for us to define part of the sketch by linking them to each other or to the sketch plane as a whole. Let's start with the two most basic relations, horizontal and vertical. To illustrate those, it's much better to start with examples. So we'll go ahead and start a sketch in the front plane. And we're going to draw two random lines. Now to draw just one line, you can click on the mouse and then move to any direction and leave the click. And when you click, just keep holding the mouse, don't leave it. So again, we'll do another line here, click and hold and then leave. And so we have two lines. Now I'm gonna press escape because I do not want more lines. And then I'm gonna come to this line here and I'm going to click on it. When you do that, on the left, you see this tab that says Add Relations. And we'll see three relations, horizontal, vertical, and fixed. We're just going to stick with the first two for now. So let's try out the first one, horizontal. If I click horizontal, you notice that the line have turned horizontal. And now if I click in this point and start moving the mouse up and down, you see the whole line is moving up and down while keeping horizontal. If I do that with the other line and I click here and I start moving the mouse, you notice that we are not stuck with a specific orientation, horizontal or vertical. So let's try out the vertical relations. I'm going to click on this line and I'm going to add relations and I am going to click vertical. And you see the same thing happens. This line have turned vertical and now whatever I do, the line stays vertical. Let's try out another thing. If I click on this point here and then press Ctrl in the keyboard and then I click on this other point here, I get the relations as well, horizontal and vertical. And what that does with 2 points is, let's say I will click or I'll pick vertical. You notice that the 2 points are in vertical relations with each other. So if you draw an imaginary line between the 2 points, this line will always be vertical. And if I click and hold in this line and I move it, you notice the other line moves with it. So the 2 points stay in a vertical relation with each other. Now let's go ahead and move to three other relations: merge, coincident, and midpoints. So let's start with the first one, merge. If I go back to these lines and I go back to this point and click on it and then press Ctrl in the keyboard and then click on this other point here, you see another command here in relations that says merge. And if I click merge, you notice that the 2 points have merged with each other. So now we have the two lines are actually connected or merged in this point. Let's try out coincidence. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another line. I'm going to click in this point, press and hold Ctrl, and then click on this line here. And then you're going to see two relations popping up, midpoint and coincident. If I click in coincident, you will notice that this line and this point are coincident to each other. And what that means is if this line extends to infinity in both sides, it will eventually intersect with this point. And so you can see if I move the point up and down, the line moves with it. the line and the point could be intersecting, but another possibility could be that they are not. Now let's try out the other command, midpoint. So if I click in this point and then click and hold Control, click in this line, and then click on this first relation, midpoint. Now you notice that this point is intersecting the line in its midpoint. And again, if I click on this point and I start moving it, you will notice that the point will always stay in the midpoint of this other line. And so the line will extend, will become longer or shorter, keeping that relation. Now let's go ahead and move to three other set of relations: parallel, perpendicular, and equal. Let's start with parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and draw another line. I'm going to start the line from here, and I'm going to draw it like this. And then I'm going to click on this line which I just drew, press and hold Control, and click on this other line. And here under Add Relations, you're going to see the relation that says parallel. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to see how it looks like. Now you notice that those two lines are parallel to each other. So if I click and hold this point and I start moving the line, you're going to see that the lines stay parallel to each other. Let's try out perpendicular. So I'm going to click on this line here, press and hold Control, and click on this line here. And then under Add Relations, I'm going to click perpendicular. Now notice what just happened. Since this line and this lines are parallel to each other, and this line and this line are perpendicular to each other, this line became perpendicular to this line as well. Let's try out the third command, which is equal. So I have three lines and I want to make them equal. So I can click on this line, press and hold Control, click in this line and this line as well. So we have three lines selected. I can go to Add Relations and click Equal. And now you notice that all three lines are equal to each other. So if I click and hold this point here and I start moving the line up, you're going to see that all three lines are moving together. So now let's go ahead and fully define the sketch. We want the outer shape of this to be a square. So first we're going to close it. So I'm going to draw a line from here to here. And then I'm going to click on this side, Control and hold, click in this side, and because we want that to be a square, I'm going to make those two sides equal. And then I'm going to fix that to the origin. So I'm going to click on this point, Control, click on the origin, and I'm going to have that as coincident. And then I'm going to set the side to be 5 inches. So I'm going to put in 5 inches here. And now we already have a fully defined sketch. I hope you've noticed this, but thanks to the relations we made, we were able to fully define the whole sketch using only one dimension. What if we want to change the 5 inches to 7 inches? So I'm going to go ahead, double click on the 5, and I'm going to change that into 7 inches. Click OK, and now you notice that everything in the sketch have changed according to the relations we created. And again, our sketch is fully defined.